Hi, boys and girls. It's Mr. Sunito. We're going to do a little bit of math today, and guess what? It's time for chapter 10. I know, we're doing a new book today, and we're also going to start with a Brain Pop Junior video. Won't that be fun? We are going to learn about pictographs, or they are sometimes called pictographs. So I think in the video they call them pictographs. It's pretty much the same thing. So first, let's watch the video. And then after the video, get your math book and a pencil. And I think we're going to do some problems together. Won't that be fun? Okay, see you in a minute.
Have you read this month, Moby? I'm making a pictograph that shows how many books people read. Let's see. You read 2 books. What is a pictograph? A pictograph is a graph that organizes and shows information using pictures. The title tells you what the pictograph is about. This graph shows how many books people read. The labels show the names of people and the number of books each person read. This is the key. No, not that kind of key. The key explains what each picture stands for. According to this key, 1 star on the graph stands for 1 book. Count the stars to find out how many books each person read. I read 1, 2, 3 books. Becca read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books. Becca is a bookworm. Here's a pictograph that shows people's favorite subjects. What subject do people like best? Each pencil stands for 1 vote. Math got the most votes. 8 people said it was their favorite subject. Which subject got 3 votes? Right, Moby. Social studies got 3 votes. This pictograph shows people's favorite color. Each paintbrush stands for 2 votes. How many people like blue? You can skip count the pictures by 2 to count the votes. 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 people chose blue as their favorite color. How many people chose green as their favorite color? There's half a paintbrush there. Since a whole paintbrush stands for 2 votes, half a paintbrush must stand for 1 vote. So 1 person chose green as their favorite color. Cool, it's lunchtime. How can you make a pictograph? I'm starving. Should I get an apple or a pear? Which fruit do you like best? Let's take a survey about what type of fruit people like best. A survey is a list of questions used to collect information or opinions. You like bananas the best. So do a lot of other kids. You can record information from your survey into a tally chart. You organize tally marks into groups of 5 so they're easier to count. There are 5, 10, 15 tally marks. How many people like pears the best? Start with 5, then count on 2. 6, 7. 7 people like pears the best. You can use information from the tally chart to make a pictograph. First, draw a chart with 2 columns. Write the title and write the choices on the left. Then, create your key and pick a simple picture to stand for your votes. I'm going to use a smiley face. 1 smiley face will stand for 1 vote. Then, I fill in the pictograph. Since 10 people voted for apples, I draw 10 smiley faces in the graph. 7 people liked pears, so I draw 7 smiley faces in the graph. 2 people voted for grapes. 6 people voted for bananas. Pictographs help organize and show data or information so you can understand it better. Which fruit got the most votes? Apple. How many more votes did pears get than grapes? 5 more people voted for pears than grapes. You can also show the same information in a different way. Whoa, Moby, that's a lot of fruit. Are you going to share? Thanks, Moby.
Okay, we're going to watch the rest of that Brain Pop Jr. video tomorrow. But what I'd like you to do is open up your math book. Make sure you've got your pencil. And remember, this is chapter 10. And the page number we're going to look at together is page 576. And we've got a picture graph right here. And I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. This is called a picture graph. And on the right side, there's a little bubble. I'm going to read this to you. It says, a picture graph uses pictures to show information. And we've got some pictures here. Let me show you the parts of the picture graph. At the top, we have the title. And usually you're going to find the title at the top. And this reads, Children at the Playground. Now, on the side, we have the choices. And we've got swings or slide. And of course, there's a little picture of each to go with it. At the bottom, we have what's called the key. And it tells you that each stick person stands for 1 child. And that's the key. And you saw that in the video. And you might also notice that the stick people are used in the picture graph. Now, I'm going to erase all the highlighting. I'm going to erase all my notes. Boop and boop. Okay. Now we've got some questions here at the bottom. And we're going to answer the questions by using the picture graph. The first question says, there are blank children on the swing set, or the swings. And if you've got your book out, you already know the answer. But let me show you how we get the answer. So we go up to the picture graph, and we look at swings, and then we're going to count the stick figures. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so what are we going to write in the blank? 4. And you can trace over that in your book. The second question, I'll use a different highlighter for this. It reads, There are blank children on the slide. Look at the graph. Here's slide. How many children do you count? 1, 2. So what are we going to put in the blank? There are 2 children on the slide. Now the last question is a little trickier, but you can do it. It says there are more children on the... Now look at the graph. Are there more children on the swings or on the slide? Well, you really don't even have to count. I mean, if you look, you can just see that there's more children on the swings. Or, hey boys and girls, sorry to interrupt your video, but yeah, the video got a little mangled and you can't really hear what I'm gonna say. So while you're on the page, this is what it should say. It should say, you could look at the numbers and think that 4 is larger than 2, and there's 4 children on the swings. So what should you write in the blank? There are more children on the swings. So you have to make sure that you spell the word swings right because it is written on the page for you. Okay, and now back to your regularly scheduled program. Not too hard. So let's look at the next problem at the bottom of the page. Now this gets to be trickier, so I'm going to do it with you. We're going to do it together, okay? First thing we're going to do, the very first thing I do when I look at my picture graph is I read the title. So the title says, our favorite activity at the fair. And the fair could be like a carnival. And, oh, here are the activities. Let's look. Your choices are animals, so maybe they have a little petting zoo. And your other choice would be to go on the rides. And then we have to read the key. So the key is at the bottom and it says each stick figure stands for 1 child. And you can see all the stick figures up here. Now, I'm not going to count them yet. The directions say use the picture graph to answer the question. We can do that. Question number 1. Which activity did more children choose? Circle. So we have to look at either the animals or the rides. I'm going to stop for a minute. You take a look at the picture graph. Which one are we going to circle? Animals or rides? Well, I notice that there's more rides than there are animals, or there's more stick figures in the boxes by rides than there are stick figures in the boxes by animals. So that means there are more children that picked rides. So what am I going to circle? The rides. Let's look at question 2. It says, oh, this is easy. How many children chose horses? What do you think that is, boys and girls? Well, we can just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 children. How many, in the next question, how many children chose rides? We can count those as well. That's not hard. You do it. I'll tell you what the answer is. Seven. But this last one is definitely tricky. It reads, how many fewer children chose horses than rides. Now that word fewer, we've heard that before. Think about it. It's a signal to us. Are we going to add or subtract? Well, fewer means less. So they want us to compare, and they don't want to know how many children in all, that would be adding. They want to know the difference. Difference means subtract. So we're going to take the number of children who chose rides. We're going to subtract the number of children who chose animals. We're going to find the answer. Can you write the number sentence? See if you can do that. Now, to help you out, the number of children, we always put the larger number first. And the two numbers we're looking at are 7 and 5. So which number would go first? That would be 7. 7 minus 5. And what does that equal? 2. So in the answer, we would say 2 fewer children. These can be a little tricky. That's why I'm going to continue to do some of these problems with you. But let's look at the next page, page 577. It's just the next page in the book. And let's Pictograph. Now there's a lot of questions on this one. So again, we're going to go slow and we're going to do it together. So the title of this pictograph says, "What we drink for lunch." Now, here are your choices: milk, juice, water. And then look at the key. It says each stick figure stands for one child. Okay. And look, we've got all these stick figures up here. Now I'm going to give you a little less help. I want you to do these problems as I read them to you. And then at the end, you can send me a picture. So let's see. The directions say use the pictograph to answer the question. And question 5 says, here I'm going to make it a little smaller. Question 5 says, how many children drink milk? Take a look at the pictograph and put your answer right there. Pause the video if you need to. Here's question 6. How many children in all drink juice and water? Now this one's a little tricky because you're going to have to think in all. That's a signal that you're going to add. So you're going to add the number of students that pick juice or water and put your answer there. How many children in all drink juice and water? Now, number 7, it says, how many fewer children drink water than milk? Now, that word fewer, that's another signal word. We've talked about that before. They want you to compare. They want to know the difference. And when we talk about difference, you're going to subtract, just like I did a few minutes ago. And what you're going to subtract are the number of students who picked water and the number that drink milk. And you're going to have a subtraction problem. Pause the video if you need to, but I'm going to move on. Problem 8. how many more children drink milk than juice? So you're going to, and again, we're going to compare. I'm going to just help you with this one with number 8. You're going to compare milk and juice. So here's milk, here's juice. And we know when we compare, sometimes we draw lines. Do you remember when we did that? A long time ago, boys and girls. But now the question is, how many more children drink milk? Well, we still have some people, some stick figures here of children that drink milk, not juice. How many did I just color in? See if you can figure that one out and put your answer right there. Pause the video if you need to. I'm going to move on. We've got 2 more problems. Now, problem 9 is math on the spot. It says, how many children in all drink milk, juice, and water? And I'll put the math on the spot video. I'll put the link up so you can watch it. But they want to know how many children in all. That's a signal word. What does that mean? Are we going to add or subtract? Think about it. And you know what? I think we're going to stop right there. We're going to stop at the math on the spot video. I think that's a lot for one day. We're going to do more with pictographs tomorrow. But be sure to work on this page. This is the only page you have to do. Take a picture of it and send it to me in Class Dojo. Have a great day, boys and girls.